Hello, everyone. It's Michael Jaco with Unleashing Intuition Secrets. Special guest tonight, Louis Herms, uh, next governor of California. And we're hoping so because California needs help. But Louis, you were saying that you guys are like super busy. I'm surprised you were able to even come on. What's been going on?
Yeah, it's crunch time. We've been preparing for this big rally that we have on the 8th, which is this Saturday, November 8th, in San Marcos, which is near Carlsbad, California. And obviously, we have the debate going on. So we have, it's just amazing. So we're contacting everybody. And then I have to do my daily stuff and have all the meetings for governor. And we're meeting with some amazing teams from top people that everybody knows. We're going to have special things coming to our campaign. And we've got at least 3 people that I can say are coming on from major campaigns of somebody that we know to help push us over the top in the next couple months.
Wow, that's exciting. So it's a progressive type thing. Of course, the elections are like November of next year. So you have a lot of time to build up momentum. You don't want to like go big right away. The best campaigns are the ones that just build momentum all the way in.
Mm-hmm.
So is that how you guys are looking at planning it? I know we've talked. You do have some blowout people. So that's incredible.
Yeah. So the key is number one, as you can see over my shoulder, I truly believe in the art of war when we're dealing with this parasite control mechanism, right? So what they don't know, they don't know. They're going to be constantly confused with our campaign, which as it should be, keep them guessing. But that being said, we have a very unique campaign because I'm not a politician and I don't play the political games. I only care about we the people, only we the people. That's it. I'm not interested in anything else. If divinely we hear a message, we take it, we go, and we help the we the people out. So we liken our campaign to an education campaign, which is going to take a lot longer than another campaign. And the good news about that is if you think about it, let's just assume hypothetically that we're in the middle of an awakening. Okay. If we're in the middle of the awakening, there's only one candidate that's been the tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist, which means every new part of information literally magnetizes towards us because we've already talked about it in the past. So our campaign will always be on an upward trajectory, no matter how hard they try to take us down. So it's just going to build and build and build. So I believe we're the tortoise and everybody else is the hare. And I'm very excited. Now, it's frustrating for some people too, because here's a great example. We're trying to get the news media to pay attention, and they're completely ghosting us like we don't exist. They're pretending that we don't exist. We had one of my top people went on Wikipedia to get us on Wikipedia because that makes us look more credible, which means we can get the donations, la, 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 la. And Wikipedia said, well, we don't recognize this guy, so we're not going to put him on. And so we sent them proof of who I was. And then they said, well, he doesn't have enough online presence. Well, that's crazy because I have more online presence than Steve Hilton and all the other candidates combined. So then we prove that. They go, okay, now here's the next step is you don't have any media that has recognized you as a candidate. I'm like, oh, here's the game, right? But they didn't know that we had an interview with Gateway Pundit. Even though it's buried on their site, we still did it. So we sent them that. And then they had one more hurdle for us to jump through. When we sent them the evidence of that hurdle, they deleted our account. And the person that was doing the work for us, they banned her from life forever contacting Wikipedia. They thought they would keep throwing up hurdles and we would just back down. But it's like sales. We overcame every objection and they couldn't handle it. So their response, they banned us for even trying. And they deleted our account for trying, and they banned her for life. She cannot make any submissions with her name and her email on anything on Wikipedia from now to eternity.
Wow.
That's what we're dealing with.
That's I mean, we're the ones that lived through the social media blackout, and suppression and free speech suppression and all that kind of stuff. But it seems like once you you go into these other areas, it exists on another level again. Wow.
It's crazy. Did you ever get your account back from YouTube yet?
Yeah, we're on YouTube right now. We're playing live. So I've been
Crazy.
on YouTube since March or April, somewhere around there. And I've been growing it. I got an old channel that, was taken down. I never tried to hey, why'd you guys take it down? Because I did that for a few of them. They're like, whatever, so
Right.
what you're going through, and so this one just popped up by chance. It's kind of one of those my wife Tracy things. I was like, I really need to get back on YouTube, because that's where I had a lot of I was really not going anywhere. Rumble's like restricting me. So she was like, okay, let me think about that. And then this thing pops up and says, one of my accounts, and I'm like, and it had the contest button, and I'm like, contest, and they got back to me and said, yeah, you're right. You should, we overstepped, and you should have your account back. So then I started building it back, and so doubled the subscribers again. I think I'm at 101,000. It was like 50 something. And so it's coming back, had 250,000, and then
I remember the day you went down, you had 250,000.
Yeah, I had 250,000, and then I built it back up to 150, and then real quick, and then bam, then I got 125, bam, then 100, bam, and this, over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I'd build it up and they knock it down. They wouldn't give me like a warning or 3 strikes, like they normally do. They just something they didn't like. They're like, boom.
Same,
and then it was
mine.
like anytime I tried to come in, I'd come in like the Intuitive Warrior and our Michael K. Jaco, or
I remember
just all kind of different stuff. And I'd slip in and they wouldn't recognize me for a while, and then somebody dined me out or something, or their AI found me, and then for years I was not able to get on. And then so Trump got back in office, and a lot of us have been able to get back on. Charlie Ward's back, Nicholas Common's back.
I know Laura Eisenhower's back. Virtually everybody's back except me. They haven't given me my account back.
Well, that's because you're running for governor.
I guess so. I have an account
treatment still, like we're talking about. It's crazy.
Yeah, we had an accident account that just happened to build up. There's probably like 14,000 on it now. But my original account, the big one with all my content on it,
yeah,
they're pretending like it doesn't exist. We've been contacting them. They're just like, nope, sorry, no, nothing, won't respond to me. And we're like, wow, that's crazy. And that's the account, the one they really attacked, because the first time they deleted that account is, I think you remember, I posted a 15-second video that said, we the people, no, I said, manifest your destiny. We the people win. That's it.
Viral. Yeah.
That's it. And they deleted that because of that 15-second video, that little 15-second video. So they deleted the account. We appealed. We did a legal appeal, and I wrote the legal language, and they gave me that account back. And then the day I had a certain amount of views and followers, they deleted it. When I had no strikes, they deleted my whole account. That was after the purge, by the way. And then that's it. They've and I keep hearing everybody's calling me and texting me, Louis, we got our account back. Give it a shot. I'm like, yeah, it's not happening. So it is what it is.
We'll pray for you, and hopefully it'll come through.
Yeah, it'd be nice, but it is what it is.
Just talked about doing, because he says that Wikipedia is corrupt. He's talked about doing some kind of Wikipedia-like thing as well.
Yeah,
so we'll probably see that come out here pretty soon.
Rockopedia.
Yeah. Exopedia or whatever. Yeah. Grokopedia. Yeah. I think that's what he called it too.
That's what it is.
Right. Right. Yeah. So we've seen you're in a Democrat state.
Am I? That's what they say.
Well, I mean, that's what they say. You're right. That's what they say. But is it?
I think I have some proof
that really at this point.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear you. I apologize. What was that?
Is there a Democrat state anywhere at this point, really?
Yeah, so true. So I think I have proof that this is not a Democrat state as of yesterday. Wow. I just haven't had the time to put it together. So I did some research. So when I started seeing the numbers, well, first, CNN, with 1 second after the polls closed, said Proposition 50 passed in California. 1 second. Not quite sure how they counted it that fast.
Biden too.
So that was fascinating, right?
Mhm.
So I go, okay. So I said, what's the percentage? And they had like 2/3 of California voted for yes on Proposition 50. Doesn't make sense, because the only thing they had is they're just like, pretty much, if you hate Trump, vote yes. You know, that's kind of what all their advertisements were. It was just crazy. And I walked through the line to vote yesterday, my wife and I, and normally you'll see the line maybe 50, 60 feet out the door. This was like 1/8 of a mile long. It was like an hour and a half, 2 hours. It was crazy, right? And you know, when I'm walking down the line and you're looking at the demographic, it wasn't chock full with a bunch of liberals, right? These are conservatives. I even talked a little bit around the line about no on 50, and you hear people like, yeah. And we're looking at and I actually took the envelope with the ballot inside of it just to show. See, look, you can look through the hole. You can see where it says no. It's right there. It's very obvious what's going on. And then they're strategizing to flip it over, you know, all this stuff. But my point is, but the vote says, according to the media, 67%. I go, okay. I said, you know what? We know that's machines is how they manipulate this. I said, so I'm curious. Let me go to Shasta County, which doesn't have machines. They're on paper ballots. And let me see what their numbers are. 69% no when I looked.
Wow.
Does that tell you everything that we need to know?
Pretty much.
Right?
How about that?
That's it. So it's an absolute bunch of lies. It's absolute ridiculous. It's propaganda. It's fakery. It's foolery. It's really sickening. So I believe, though, things are looking very, very good. I believe the Mondami vote, this vote, and other things, I believe these are going to be Supreme Court / RICO / military invention deals going on because of what is going on right now. It's so blatant. It's so obvious that I believe things are going to flip on its head really, really quick. So I think the future is bright for us.
Yeah. So same with Virginia and New Jersey, you think?
Virginia's a weird one. You know, the challenge I had with Virginia is the one running, which Trump didn't put his support around, and he would have, but she came out as a never Trumper.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah. Why on earth would you do that? Right? It just doesn't make any sense. At least she could have had a mea culpa before she ran, but I think they think that they can get the Republican vote for some reason, and then they can get the Trump haters at the same time. And it's same political games. They're always trying to do this political balance, right?
Huh.
And I would prefer authenticity. I know what a weird concept, right? Just be authentic. And I think what she should have done is said, President Trump, can I have a sit down with you? She should have gone to DC and had a sit down with him and said, how can we work this together? And then I think she could have won if the votes were real, but they're fake anyways. And think about it. You have such a huge percentage of Democrats that work in DC that are in Virginia, right? So the shutdown, I believe that the Democrats were intentionally keeping the shutdown past the elections because everybody would be off of work. Therefore, they would go to the polls. Everywhere they can manipulate, they're going to manipulate. And Jersey just looks like fake, phony, and false to me.
Yeah, that's, I mean, when the polling, because the polling usually goes in the Democrat direction. So for the polls to be close, we should have had the GOP guy win, but he lost by like 12 points. So
it doesn't make sense. Now listen to this anomaly.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the one that they should send in the National Guard immediately to start investigating. In New York, if you add up what Mondami had and Cuomo, a Democrat and a socialist, a communist, really, if you listen to him, Their total is 92%. Well, even the mainstream media says there's 40% Republicans in New York. How is it possible then 92% voted for Democrat and socialist? It doesn't, there's no common sense there. We look at it and we go, that's impossible. It would never happen, right? Something is definitely wrong. And that one is so blatant. There's no way you can turn it around. Even if Trump came out and gave Cuomo a big hug and said, vote for this guy right now, it wouldn't have been 92% of Republicans turning on their own value set. And I'm sorry, all the Republicans turning on their own value set and saying, I want either this Democrat or the socialist. It just never would have happened. So the numbers don't add up. So this is election fraud, clearly across the board. And we're either just going to keep getting smacked in the face, or the feds and the military are going to come in and go, okay, this is time.
Yeah. And there was on the Virginia side, there was a guy, Jay Jones. He was elected as well. And he had texted a fellow delegate that he thought his opponent, a GOP guy, should get 2 bullets to the head and his kids killed and all this.
Right.
Kind of, and he was elected. And then Spanberger, who's former CIA, won by and she was called out about it, and she never said it. She never would say, because to them it's already, the vote is already in. They already know how things are going to work.
Right. Right.
She couldn't diss him because he was going to be, regardless of how the vote really was going to be. Like you're talking about in Mount Shasta, 69% of people said no, but it turned out that everybody said yes. So that's the way these votes are now. I'm surprised that 10 months in now that the Trump team didn't come in and do anything. But when you look at the corruption that, like you're talking about, that could be revealed, this may be why they didn't.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm kind of hanging my hat on, is that it's possible that they just needed a little bit more awakening. And because the fact is, I still talk to people, even Republicans, and they're like, no, I don't think there's a election fraud. And the language matters. And this is what I'm saying online. We constantly have conservatives saying, oh, it's blue this, and Democrats won this, and Democrats took this, and da-da-da, and they come. And I go, no, you have to understand. We cannot continue to use that language. It's election fraud. As long as we keep using the language that the Dems win, the Dems win, the Dems are winning, instead of the Dems stole it because of election fraud, then the zeitgeist, as we call it, right, is believing that they're more powerful than they are. And that's exactly what the deep state swamp rats want. They want our communication publicly to be the Dems won. That's what they want. The last thing they want is to say they won because they stole it. They don't want that type of talk. And that's the challenge, is I'm still seeing a lot of people saying, oh man, they won it again. I'm like, no, we got to change our language.
Yeah. And for me, I just look at, they're surrounded by Republicans. They're an island, right? With a sea of red all around them, people with, guns and so forth. And it's that way all across the country. There's just these little blue dots with a massive sea of red. They, at some point, they cease to exist because they put themselves out of existence, because they all love to get vaccinated. They all love the boosters. That's killing those guys at a rapid pace. We've talked about that. We know that. We knew that long ago. That's one of the things we talked about. That's one of the reasons why we got taken down off this these social media platforms, because they wanted those people to get vaccinated. So I mean, they're canceling out themselves, and they're voting in people that will destroy, like we've seen in London. We've had Muslims in London for a while now running the mayorship there, and London is a rape capital of the world right now.
Wow.
So that's going to happen in New York soon.
Yeah, exactly. It's so bad. But it's interesting though how the powers that be are covering up the death rates, because I go on
Oh,
and
yeah.
check the death rates. And they always seem to balance year to year to year to year, right? It's fascinating because I can tell you, just if you talk to people around people I know, it's another one died, another one died, another one died, the funeral, all over the place, right?
Yeah.
And now the sad part is I'm noticing that there's people going and talking to morgues and embalmers, and they're
Right.
not speaking now. They were coming out before, and they're like, yeah, hey, we're seeing a lot of extra. This is weird. Da, da. Now it's like their mouths are shut. Somebody got to them. Somebody talked to them and said, you are not going to say anything. I don't know what they threatened them with. Maybe some lawfare. I don't know. But we're not getting the information from them anymore, which is hyper suspicious.
Yeah, there was a time I tried to get the Brit that was revealing, and he's had him lined up. He was supposed to come on my show. He contacted us and said, I've got overwhelming pushback. I can't do this anymore. And he wanted to do it, but his wife was like, no, you're not going to do it. So he stopped out. So I put it out. Anybody out there, and a Canadian came on, and he like ran a couple of different places where they do the embalming. He had like 4 or 5 different places. So I'll come on your show, and I was like, you want to hide your face, and I won't share your name. It's like, no, I'll be good. So I'm like, okay. So he came on. He called me early the next morning, because we did it in the afternoon, and he called me got in touch with me the early next morning. Can you take that video down? I am just like getting slammed. So it's like, okay. So just recently, I was going to have a guy on, and he went silent too. He was revealing that the white clotting material that's in there, and that a lot of the morticians and so forth are finding. In Utah, where I'm at right now, there was a big group that was revealing. I don't know if they stopped him out or what, but he backed out of coming on my show just recently too. So you're right. It's just really been covered up.
Yeah, it's scary. It's what it is. But
it's really sad.
They can only suppress it so long. See, it's different. So you could suppress the Kennedy killing, right? Kennedys, I should say, killings, because we didn't have the internet at that time. Yep. So they had a long time to suppress it. They could suppress 9/11 because it was different and there wasn't as much internet play at the time. Now they can't even, there's funky stuff clearly going on with the Charlie Kirk assassination, and whoever wants to try to put a lid on this is having a trouble doing this. So I believe they can only suppress these embalmers and these medical types that want to reveal this for so long. There's going to be some people that come out with courage. And I think maybe, Mike, your idea is the best. Well, let's just how about we try to put together, and I'll do it with you, a show with like 4 or 5 of them, and they can just hide their identity. We can even change their voice.
I would do that. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we can have a whole bunch of them on.
Anyone listening now, or anyone that knows anybody, if they want to hide their identity and come forward, we'll absolutely do that.
Yeah, I'll put this on my channel too then.
Where we talk about vaccine injuries and deaths and so forth. And I'm very sad to see all the people that are talking about how many people, and that they know have passed, and the horrific things they went through before they passed and so forth, and people that are going through horrific things. I remember there was one nurse on Facebook, not Facebook, on X, and I followed her for a long time, and she basically was chronicling her slow demise and from the vaccination. And she said it was from the vaccination, and she knows it was from the vaccination. She was forced to do it because of her to stay in, and she loved her job and so forth. So she got vaccinated, and she deteriorated over a long period of time. I haven't seen her in a while. I don't know what happened, but war nurse, is that it? Arlene Wanser, maybe that's her. Maybe
War News. Yeah.
Is she still out there?
I don't know. I haven't seen anything from her for a long time. I think she pops up every once in a while. Okay. I'll tell you a story that I don't tell publicly very often. So my mom had an interesting heart condition. She was born with a hole in her heart, right?
Mhm.
So when she was in her 30s, she had surgery from the top cardiac surgeon in the whole world at the time. I believe Dr. King. He repaired it. It lasted for a long time, and then she had to have a pig valve in, right? And then she had to have another one a little bit later. She had the same cardiologist for 30 some years. When her last time that she was getting the pig valve, they were really worried that she would not survive. So she was in there, and he called a meeting with the family because they thought they were going to lose her. And so he says, after the surgery, everything went fine. He says, "Wow, let me tell you something about her. She is a big time survivor. I don't know how long she's going to live, but I think it's going to be for a long time. The surgery went really successful. One thing I will tell you though is, and this, they said this in front of the whole family, we've never seen blood that is so clean. This woman," talking about my mom, "will never have blood clots." This is her cardiologist.
Mm.
She got the jab, right? She was hospitalized after her second booster, I think it was. And we got a call, emergency. I talked to the on-site cardiologist, not her cardiologist, right? But the doctor that was on site. And he says, "Well, we don't think she's got long. She barely can do it. She's having all these issues and strokes." I go, "What is exactly the issue?" And he said, "She is filled with blood clots." He said, "There's too many blood clots that you can't even imagine." And I said, "Huh." Clearly, I already knew what it was, right? I said, "What do you think that is?" He goes, "Yeah, it just happens." And I go, "Well, interesting, because her cardiologist, which is another one that was top in his field, said she'll never, ever have blood clots. So what do you think it really is?" He cut the conversation up because I can't talk about it, walked out, wouldn't want to have another conversation with me because he knew it was the vaccine. And then she died a couple of days later.
Oh man, sorry to hear that. Yeah, that's crazy.
So this stuff is real, and it's being covered up at the highest levels.
Yeah. Well, they know if they like we're talking about, they get out of line, they'll come after them, shut them down, or destroy their lives.
They're all living in
Try to
fear,
destroy our lives, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, right. Exactly. The difference is they're making money. We're not, right? So they although they'll destroy us financially when they can too. In fact, how many times have you can't get monetized on YouTube, but somebody's stealing your stuff and they're monetizing it and they're getting paid based on your content?
Yeah, that happened quite a bit. I mean, it's still happening.
Still happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
and
crazy.
Then people come in and try and, hijack people and say they're us. And I've had people that have lost crazy amounts of money. So it's very, very tragic.
Yeah, there's somebody on X that was stealing money using my name.
Yeah.
It took me over a year and a half. Just this week, they finally suspended this guy's account, pretending that he was me. Finally, because I actually said, X, I go, "You guys are going to be liable because I'm actually a gubernatorial candidate now. I think you should do something about this." They've been ignoring my pleas for over 18 months. And I sent that. Within a day, that account was gone. Why do we always have to threaten legal to get anything done? It's crazy.
That's sad. That's real sad. So, I mean, let's look at your campaign ideals, what you're campaigning for. I did a show just recently with a gentleman in Texas that's running, Doc
Pete Chambers. Yeah.
Pete Chambers. Yeah. You know him?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. So, yeah, I've been wanting to do a show with him for a while. And so I was at a conference in Alameda, and this woman comes up and says, "So I heard you want to do Pete Chambers," and it was like, God answered that call out. And so she hooked us up. Tracy lined it up, and I did a show with him. Amazing guy. But I went through each one of his points, and staggering. Anyone that sees that show and doesn't want to vote for him, because everybody that's seen the show is like, "I'm voting for that guy." That's a Texan. And that's kind of the way you are. if people just hear what you are talking about, we did a conference together, very nice event, and all the points you put out, I'm like, if people don't vote for you, they're like completely brain dead. All the things that you're going to do is staggering. You want to go over a few of those points? That's
Sure.
incredible.
Yeah. Now, the first thing is I've learned a long time ago, simplicity and common sense rule the day.
Yeah.
Right. We overcomplicate everything. So obviously, one of my big issues is child trafficking, and I call it our silent plague.
Yeah.
Because it's $100 billion profitable industry in California, which makes it the #1 industry in California, but we ignore it like it doesn't exist, right? So we're forming a special task force of rescue professionals, special technology that's going to go around that, and we're going to hold those in power. Listen to this, guys, those that are in power, we're going to hold accountable, because those are the ones that have been running cover for the evildoers, the judges and the politicians and the corporations. So that's who we need to focus on. We're also going to launch a full investigation of CPS in the foster system, because it is sick. In addition to that, there's a whole system right now where they're actively trying to medically change the biology, which is impossible, right, of a child, and they're finding some legal loopholes to do that, especially in LA County. It's really disgusting. We're actually working on getting an anti-grooming bill sponsored way before we're even in the governor's mansion, right? And we're committed. We're not going to let human trafficking and the scourge of it push us around anymore. And that should be everybody's #1 issue. That's actually what drove me into the race. So that's it. Election fraud. Everybody knows it's real. The answers are very, very simple. Paper ballots. I like same day counting, voter IDs. I prefer same day voting. I know you like multiple day voting, but I prefer same day voting. And
that's because we have a rigged system. And the way to get around that is to just have everybody vote over a period of time. But if it was a smooth system, like you're talking about in Mount Shasta, they saw it's amazing how they got around that, but they did. If you can do that in every county, yeah, it can be done. But yeah,
let me give you why I don't think that helps. Just, and you and I can debate on this if you want. My biggest challenge with that is I liken it to this, and I did a post on this today. Imagine I'm a championship chess player, but I tell my opponent ahead of time what my next 3 moves are. So when we're voting by mail or early voting, the baddies, I believe personally, especially with that vote on no, because you could see it through the ballot, they already know what they have. So they're going to know how they can cheat. So it's like giving them ahead of time. Now, if we were doing precinct voting, we would never have to do but 1 day, because we would do all the little teeny precincts, which Mark Cook has proven, through his road show and the count. I've seen it with my own eyes in Vegas. I saw him do it. They can train people within an hour, and those people count perfectly every single time with the system that they have. So it can be done. It just needs to be organized. And then, as you've heard me say, which is very, very important, starting to get a lot of traction now, which is good, I believe we should put serial numbers on every ballot. And the only thing a machine should be used for is after the ballots are counted, throw that through a machine only to do one thing, just to make sure it's not a duplicate serial number or out of sequence. Because if it is, it's fake. It's that easy.
Yep. Watercolors. Yep.
Yep. But a watercolor, I always even tell Mark this, a watercolor can still be duplicated.
Really?
Yeah, you can counterfeit it if you find out the process that they're using. You can't do that with a serial number. It's impossible. Numbers are numbers.
The reason why I said multiple days, and that I think that really worked for Trump, was because in Maricopa County, we all of us said, don't early vote, go the day of, and they same thing. they're like, okay, they're coming. So they rigged the machines, and none of them worked. No one could vote. And then the ones that did vote, they took them to the warehouse and then, mismanaged them. And then Katie Hobbs, who never came out of her basement.
Right. Well, they're always going to find evil, and criminals will always find a way to do what they do. That's why it's laughable when people say there should be gun laws. The only people that gun laws work for are the people that follow the law. Criminals don't follow the law. Look at Chicago. Got all the gun laws in the world, and they get all these murders, right? Why is that? Because there's nobody that's there to defend themselves. It's just the lack of common sense is huge. But you want to go into some more of these things?
Yeah, so let's talk about the thing that's really starting to kick in Florida, and some other states are starting to talk about it. The home tax, what's a property tax?
Property taxes.
Property taxes. You talked about doing away with them, and every state should do away with them. If you find out how they're manipulating, controlling that, and see the mismanagement that's going on with that, everyone in the state should be like, we're not doing that anymore.
Right. Well, if they knew what the agenda was, if they knew that the agenda was to steal your property, people would say, I'm not going to pay property taxes. Right. It's crazy. So it's another simple process. So I believe 70 to 80% of our current budget in California is waste, fraud, and abuse. So we go in there, we torch the waste, fraud, and abuse. Now we have just a small percentage that we actually have that is in the budget that's legit, which gives us a windfall. So we'd be able to get rid of income and property taxes. Pretty simple. These are easy peasy solutions, but they keep it so messy so they kind of pretend like, oh, that's impossible. We could never do that, right? Well, it's because it's going into everybody's pocket. Wait till people see the bond issues that are going to bankrupt California pretty soon.
Yeah, wow. So another one that some states have been able to do, Alaska, Texas, Florida, and Tennessee, maybe a few other states out there, is no tax at all, no personal tax. So you've talked about how you can do away with that too. I mean, just those three things, everybody should be lined up and Louis Herms. Just how could you not? But you have so many others.
Can you imagine the way the economy will be boosted just when you get rid of those, I call them illegal taxes?
Yeah.
The economy is going to go through just on that. And then when you start putting money into the right places in the economy, like as a conservative leaning libertarian, I don't believe in subsidies. There's a big although there, however, and that is because they've been subsidizing large corporate farms and only giving them the water and subsidizing them to use, I think, deadly GMOs, vaccines, poisons, and pesticides on our food, right? I think it's time now to subsidize farmers, independent farmers that want to give regenerative farming. They want to rotate their crops. They don't want to use pesticides. They want to do true organic, which we don't have in California, right? That's who we should incentivize. Let's incentivize the cleanest, healthiest, most mineralized food that we possibly have. So we have a healthier society. Now, you know who would want me not to do that? Big Pharma. Because healthy people don't make good clients for pharmaceutical companies.
Yep, definitely. So the homeless, California is probably has one of the highest homeless rates of any state. Do you have anything on that one?
Absolutely. So I think the first thing that we need to recognize is, and I know it's commonplace for many people just to demonize homeless. I think we need to recognize these are real people, right? Yep. And they have significant problems.
Yep.
Whatever that problem is. Some of the times it's an alcohol drug problem. We need to figure out how to do that and address the alcohol and drug problem. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they've been beaten down so much by society, they said they would just rather check out, right? I believe we should find a way for everybody to have a home. Some of them have a mental issue. Well, I think we should make mental institutions great again, right? Only we have to be respectful within them, not like we did in the 70s right? Where you put everybody on Thorazine and they're walking around like zombies in the hallway, and we're doing shock treatments on them. That's real stuff. No, we need to honor these people no matter if they're homeless or not. And we need to create work programs and incentivize them to get back on their feet. Because I would say, Mike, 80 to 90% of homeless, they would probably want to be sober. They probably would want to live in some place, and they probably would want to be better, right? So we need to work on assisting them to be better and feel valuable again. We can't just throw them to the side, but it also will help take them off the street so they won't be a eyesore on society at the same time. And it can definitely be done. We just need to invest in it. The investment will be less than it costs to not invest. And that's the key.
So business, obviously, at one time, California was like one of the places that businesses wanted to be. But California's been driving those businesses out. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why, is because they make so much money on the illicit trades like we were talking about, drug trafficking, human trafficking, so forth, that they don't care about regular business. Like Elon Musk, they pissed him off so much, he just left and went to Texas.
That's right.
What would you do to bring back businesses?
Well, first, if we get rid of the income tax that we're working on doing, that's going to be a huge draw for businesses, right? Sure. And then we take away the ridiculous, fake, phony, and false environmental regulations. That's huge. And then we stop fining and feeing these businesses left and right every time they want to build something or do something, and they have to go through some hoops. It's ridiculous. I actually think that is directly against the Chevron deference decision. So we'll connect that. There's going to be a lot of incentive. And then when you remove those income taxes and the property taxes, that money that's infused into California, and we clear our budgets out so we can spend money where it's supposed to be spent, infrastructure, I think businesses are going to flock to California, and it's going to be like another gold rush in California when we accomplish what we're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, most definitely. Now, the environment there in California is one of the most beautiful states of all 50 states. I've been to all of them, and California is one of my favorite. But unfortunately, they've had this environmental thing where it's like, don't get involved in the environment and let it go natural. That's like letting the weeds grow in your yard and in your vegetable crop and so forth. It's take it over. So having hiked the Pacific Crest Trail, I see how the environment they just let it grow. There's no clearing the deadfall. President Trump, talked to Gavin Newsom. You need to start to clean your forest up and clean up the deadfall, and they ignored it. Of course, we've had crazy fires that somehow magically burned all the way down into the homes. So what would you do about that? Would you and Trump offered to build Mount Shasta Dam higher, and Gavin Newsom refused to do that too. What would you do about all that?
Well, I would actually build the dams higher. I would let water flow instead of throwing 60% of into the ocean. I would not let people privatize water rights, which is crazy. That alone is happening. And then I would absolutely demand fire abatement. He hasn't done fire abatement here in 2 decades. We haven't had fire abatement.
Yeah,
ridiculous. Are you kidding this? Right? But if the water flows, that's the other thing. I believe there's been a fake drought, right? Because the water's not flowing the way it flows. It should flow, so they can always say, "Oh, look at the dams are dry, the reservoirs are dry. We don't have water to this. We don't have water to do this. Woe is me!" But they tend to bring water to their cronies, the people in their political payoffs. They tend to get as much water as they want, right? So that being said, the water flow alone would help. We don't have a drought if you're still throwing 60% into the ocean. Sorry. That doesn't exist. That would help a lot in a lot of these brush areas, but fire abatement is huge. And it all you have to do, they love government manpower, so why not hire people to clear all the brush, right?
You got all those homeless that would love to
there you go.
and be involved and contribute. there's so many, and young people that are out of work, get them involved.
I
They used to
agree.
do that in the past. So yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff that can be easily turned around. But you have a corrupt system there. What would you do about corrupt politicians that are all throughout the state?
Well, we would expose them big time. In fact, I'm going to create a website that's going to be government sanctioned. It's going to be exposure.ca.gov. And we're going to put their faces, their names, and what they have been doing or haven't been doing. Let's say they're being obstructionist on the actual website for everybody to view. And the heat can go on them. And we'll say, here's their phone number. If they're government, their government, say, here it is. We're not going to dox them. Right.
Yeah, good. Yep.
We're going to put their information out there, and we're going to put pressure on them that they either change their ways, right? They're going to be pushed out, and they know if they hit there, that already means they're being investigated. So they better be very, very careful. So exposure.ca.gov is going to take we're going to put judges on there. We're going to put politicians on there, dirty cops on there. It's going to be, I think it will be the most viewed website in history, because we know how people like to watch salacious stuff. I think they're going to be all over this website.
That's fantastic. Wow. And that's something that every state should follow. That's amazing. So anything else that you'd like to say that really stands out now? And then of course, give us the information on the upcoming event.
Sure. I mean, we have a ton of things, but I will mention there's already technology out there that we can reduce our energy cost currently with certain technologies by 70 to 80% already. Can you imagine reducing the energy cost, getting rid of the income tax, bringing jobs in, and the economy booming? It really will be a gold rush. Now, our goal is to get 0 point energy. Oh my God, did he say that out loud? He must need a tinfoil hat. We're going to get 0 point energy into all the houses. It's probably going to take a couple of decades. The reason why the parasites that control things all over the world do not want you to have 0 point energy, because then you are uncontrollable. You are sovereign. You are autonomous from government control at that moment. And you can produce at a very high level if you have energy that is produced right there from the ether or whatever that is. So that's one of our major goals also. That'll take longer.
Yeah, probably won't take that long. I know some technologies that we got probably going to be released in the next few years that will give energy to every home. So we're close. You just have to have the ability to say, yes, we're going to do this, and then move forward with it. But a lot of these politicians have puppet strings on them, so they can't do that. And that's where revealing some of those politicians that are corrupt would be fantastic. And then they can explain themselves. You get the phone number or the emails, like there you go, you did this, and we're going to put your phone number and our email there, and you can explain yourself why you did this. And
exactly,
you're gonna have millions of people contact you and say, what are you doing? And then you can either probably go away or fix it, like you're talking about.
Yeah. Imagine if we sponsor bills, propositions, or legislation, and it's 1 page instead of 100 pages. Very concise language. Here's the beauty of that, and this is why I'm so excited about this. When we just do this 1 page legislation stuff, it's very easy to expose corruption, because it'll be very, very simple. Here's how we're going to go after child traffickers. We need you to do this, this, and this. Approve. That's a yes or no vote. You vote no, it's like, what's going on with this person? When you make these 100-page bills and you let all the attorneys get involved with this, because that's what keeps them employed, right? Now it's murky. So you can't really call people out, because they're like, oh, well, it's not what you think, or there's this one line in here, so on and so forth. If you simplify these things, boom, I think it's going to be extraordinarily helpful. And don't even get me started on eliminating 80 to 90% of the laws that are on the books right now, because they're convoluted. They're not there to help anybody.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yep. So Lewis Herms for governor. So what's the next thing? What's the next step?
Well, we have a huge day coming Saturday, just a few days from now. So November 8th, Saturday in San Marcos, California, which is near Carlsbad. We have a beautiful rally. I mean, we have the most amazing speakers are going to be there. Michael Jaco will be there. It's incredible. We have the best music. When you guys see the entertainment that's going to be there, blow you away. And that's from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. morning to noon right there. And that's going to be really, really cool. And I'll speak at the last probably half hour, 45 minutes of that. I'm excited about that. That's free, guys. Just go to hermsforcality.com, click on events at hermsforcality.com, and it's free. Just RSVP so we know who's going to be there, because we're going to have security all over the place. Michael and I have already been through it with poisoning and some other things. We don't need to go through that again. So click on RSVP. And at night, which is really cool, I will be on the debate stage with a bunch of Republican candidates. So we'd love to see you there also. Go back one page, Mike. I'll show them something. So at night, in the same location, Awaken Church in San Marcos, if you go down, just scroll down, sorry. There you go. So you should take your power back, California Showdown. You'll see my face right next to Steve Hilton up on the left-hand side. This is going to be the big debate. So that evening, it'll be a debate. If you want to get tickets, we have the best price tickets on the web because my campaign is subsidizing this to help people get in there for less. Scroll down if you could, and I can show them. So a general ticket for that. Remember, the rally's free. This is at night. We don't run this. But black tie, if you want to meet and greet everybody, including all the candidates, that's $250. That's discounted. VIP seating at that event is $125. By the way, if you do VIP seating or black tie at this, we're going to give you free VIP seating at our rally in the morning also. General seating is just $40, and then you can see the debate. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that sounds great. Wow. So I'm going for the black tie, so gotta wear that thing. So I don't get to wear it that often, so that'll be fun.
Exactly.
All right, so yeah. So there's people. So Tracy's like, you're going to be there. I cannot wait to see everyone. So yeah, hopefully we see a lot of you guys there. That'd be fantastic.
I think it's going to be a game changer, Mike. I really do. This is going to change. We're going to flip everything on its head. People are going to see things that day, and they're going to go, "Wow, okay, this is real."
So yeah, looks like you got some high-end moderators. So is this going to be televised or?
Yeah, well, if you'd like to, anybody, I've got the connection to get everybody to live stream it. They just have to let me know. Anybody that wants to live stream it, they can live stream it. We're not live streaming the rally. You have to be at the rally itself, right? The debate will be live streamed on several channels.
Yeah, very good. Wow. Fantastic. So moving the right direction, Louis. That's exciting times.
It is a lot of work to do, a lot of work done, but we're going forward, and it is really an education process, but we're up for it.
Yeah, like you educated a large group of people tonight, and it'll go out. More people see it tomorrow, and then the next day, and the day after. So that's going to be very exciting. So as more people see what your agenda is and so forth, they're going to get excited, and once they get the excitement, they're going to get involved. I hope a lot of them, sharing it and maybe supporting you in a different way. So I know donations make a big difference in these events. So donate if you can. If you can't make it, I'll try and live stream it on my show. So we'll try and live stream as much as we can everywhere.
Yep. Cool. Yeah. Donations are helpful. We're against people that probably have $100 million in the campaign. So we're going to need money, unfortunately. By the way, that's something I'm working on. You and I could talk privately on how to get rid of the money need for a campaign. I want a plumber who makes $100,000 a year to be able to run and have just as good a chance as a billionaire that comes in. So this is something that we need to reform, right? Where we just need good, we the people candidates from now on. But unfortunately, we need the money now in order to get to the point. So nobody needs the money in the future. So that's something else we're going to work on.
Well, that's a good point. And then, you know, a lot of these people, when they get in office, they start campaigning again. But I think you're going to be hard at work.
Yeah, no, that's not. I didn't want to do this. I was called to do this. They've already called me the anti-politician because I won't follow the rules. I don't. Yeah. They made the rules for corruption. I'm not interested in that.
That's great. Well, thanks so much, Louis. And you know, we're going to see you in a few days. So look forward to seeing you, and hopefully we'll see a lot of people in the audience is going to be there too. So great job. Best of luck, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Looking forward to Love Bubbles.
That's it. All right.
I see.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you guys next time.